this computer.
With you Nation, we're back. Linda and Yola here to give you just a piece of our mind on a Saturday morning. I know everybody's got a lot of stuff going on. I've got a party that I'm having later tonight, and Yola, I think, is going on a cruise or something lavish that she's always doing. But we really want to make this kind of a main thing that we come to you guys every Saturday, and hopefully you all start giving us some tips or some things that you want to really hear about that we can hit for you guys on Saturdays. But today, Yola, I think we just talk about kind of where to start when looking for who we're going to work with, who we're going to work for, however you want to say that. But Yola, what are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning, Linda. I am not a cruise, unfortunately. I'm just going to be in good old glamorous Carrizozo, New Mexico, working on my house.
Hey, it might be the same as the Dirty D here in Durham. So you probably got better views than I've got.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. But then again, I live in the middle of nowhere, so there's that. Um, good morning with you. We're going to be posting this on YouTube as well, so you might not be seeing it on a Saturday. You might be seeing this 2 months from now. But we are trying to get more consistent with our content because we have grown so much in the last few months, and we continue to talk about how cool and how amazing it is. But I feel like now it just puts on a little bit more pressure on us that we have to kind of perform and do all of these things because we have all these women that are looking for us for help. And one of the topics has always been, where do I go to find help? Like, where do I go to get hired? Where do I see that that's a good fit? Because this is a vast industry. And if you don't know kind of where you're headed and what you want to do, you see the glitz and glamour of all these people making money through insurance, but you don't know how they actually got there. And success does leave clues, but unless you're tapping into those people and actually connecting and talking to them, you're never going to be able to, get the secret, if you will.
Yeah. So I'm gonna open this up really quickly and go over a couple of things. I think Yola and I both agree on this. And guys, listen, we're talking the majority. There's always going to be the 1, 2, 3% of any company, any industry that's going to excel. But we're talking to the vast majority. All right. Yola, what do you think when somebody says, hey, I want to get my insurance license because I want to make some extra income? So I'm going to keep my full-time job, but I'm going to pick up my insurance license and, maybe make an extra $3,000 a month and not have to do very much work. What are you saying there?
I say that you can't be kind of pregnant. You're either in or out. I love part-timers. I don't think you cannot be successful part-time, but if you already have a full-time job that's taking up the majority of your energy, putting exerting more energy into part-time insurance, you're just going to get frustrated. This is a very hard business. If you don't do it full-time and you immerse yourself in it 1,000%, I feel like, completely, and have no plan B because your plan B is always going to be the job, right? And if it gets hard, you're always going to be like, well, screw this, I can just go back to making whatever my hourly is. But yeah, I'm not for part-time. I don't know, I love part-timers. I'll talk to part-timers, but this is an industry that you're either an insurance agent or you're not an insurance agent. That's how I feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I say don't make Friday plans on Monday morning. Meaning, like, it sounds really good Monday morning, but then Friday, it's like Yola and I right now. Guys, we had a ton of things personally going on, and we had to stop them to make sure that we got on here and recorded for you guys, right? So don't make Friday plans on a Monday. But the other thing that goes into that is be realistic, right? Just be realistic. So if you're working 40 hours at your full-time job, I don't know about you guys, but when I work 40 hours in insurance, I don't want to do anything else after I've worked those 40 hours. So to make yourself work your full-time job and then really work insurance for 15 or 20 hours outside of that, it's hard. And we'll get off part-timers. I'm not against part-timers either. I would just give you guys a few pieces of advice. Don't expect the hiring manager to give you the same attention that they're giving a full-time, right? So if I've got a full-time agent and a part-time agent and they both call me at the same time, I'm answering the full-time agent's call because they're depending on me to put food on the table. You're not. You've got a job. You're just depending on me to maybe finance a vacation, help you finance a vacation or something like that. So make sure that you're realistic about what you're doing. And the second thing, Yola, and we'll jump on to the next, the second thing, go as earned. Don't take an advance, right? Because if you take an advance and you sell a policy and you're only part-time and that charges back, now you're struggling. Now your anxiety goes up because you already know that you're not writing much insurance and now you got to charge back. So just go as earned, and alleviate that stress of worrying about a chargeback right out of the gate. You agree with that, Yola?
Yes, and I agree with you 1,000%. That's a great point. Quick disclaimer though is that I don't know if everybody does chargebacks in our industry. We are life insurance final expense agents, so I don't.
Oh no, they do.
Does health
PNC, yeah, everybody gets chargebacks.
Okay,
yeah.
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everything works if you do. I say that all the time. You just have to, energy flows where you focus goes. Like you just have to put your energy into something that you're focusing on, and if you focus on this business, it will give you its full potential. But like you said, if this is just a side hustle and you want to finance a vacation, definitely go as earned. Don't and just triple up on what you are writing, because I don't know what your retention rate is, but I have about 15 to 20% of my policies that are just naturally going to fall off the books. Like I'm not going to be able to write everybody and keep everybody. That's just not realistic. But Linda, tell me, like as a new agent, and you hear this post and you see this post that says now hiring, and you're like, wow, I want to work. I want to work for this company. What would you tell an agent that's looking at that now hiring post and gets drool all over their face because this is what they want to do?
Yeah, and to go a little bit further, you'll also see the now hiring, and I got offered a position with XYZ company. Guys, I hate that I'm the one that's having to break this news to you, but you're not special. They've given everybody the position. Somebody used to tell me if you could fog a mirror, they would hire you. And that's essentially like they're going to hire everybody. But Yola, here's what I say. And did I do this when I first started? No, because I didn't know what I didn't know. But ladies, if you're in the market to get into insurance, whether it's PNC, Medicare, life, health, whatever it is, don't look at it as you're getting interviewed, because you're not. You are interviewing them, right? You're the one that's depending on this person to get you where you want to go. All right. So don't get tied up into listening to what they have or what they've achieved. You need to figure out with them, can you achieve XYZ? So don't fall into, Yola, I hear it all the time. Even people in my company will do this from time to time. And I think it's kind of cringeworthy. And I don't mind it. If somebody asks me, I will definitely show them. I'm not scared of it. But let me see your 1099. Let me see you. Put your 1099 out there. Guys, we're all 1099. But that's only a fraction of what goes into this. So I could show you a 1099 for $400,000, but if it took me 300,000 to make that, what am I really making? Right? So don't get carried away in what, somebody shows you an outlandish number or, things like that. I think it's crazy. And Yola, I'm going to kick it back to you, but this whole chat comes from Yola and I. We get hit up quite regularly for people within the group who want to, they're either looking for something or they're looking to give back. And Yola, in the last month, I would say we've talked to 7 or 8 people who were amazing women.
Yes.
They just potentially were in the wrong system, right? So there's valid reasons for us having this conversation with you ladies today. Don't take the short end of the stick just from the first person that offers you the position.
Yes, I agree. And going back to show me your 1099, it's like, no, show me your profit and loss because that's where you're going to
Yeah,
show. That's where your real
yeah,
numbers are going to show because we make a lot of money in this business. But if you're spending it all on, your business and your
yeah.
expenditures, I see your dogs are just going to start talking to mine now,
I know.
huh? I think mine just started it because he's waiting for breakfast. But yeah, absolutely. And when you get a license, especially when you get a license, you've just leveled up as far as I'm concerned. You just got yourself a license to print money. You just got to figure out what that looks like as far as internal procedures. And unless you find somebody that is willing to show you the nitty gritty of it and what it takes on a day to day, you're not gonna. This is just all illusions because it's great to see the lifestyle.
Yeah.
A lot of the, your uplines. Well, I remember when I first started the business, they would like invite us to their houses or their places. Turns out that they're just rentals for the weekend because they want to impress. Like,
That's horrible.
it is.
That's
There's so
horrible.
much like bait and switch. Uh, Especially with agents that are new and they're thinking that I want to be like this person, which is so sad, right? Like I remember one of the conversations that we've had recently, and it just, you see the glitz and glamour of all these people and you look up to them, but you don't see that they're making money off of you going to work and they're just giving you all of this raw and the Kool-Aid that they want you to drink because guess what? You're making them money by going out and working. You're making them money by being cringe at the, that person at the barbecue where now you're just recruiting your life insurance agents or insurance
Yep.
agents. Like everybody can do it. That's the other thing. Like I don't think everybody can do this. I don't think this is for everybody. If it was, and everybody would be making $1 million and they'd be successful and we'd all have our yachts. But this is not for everyone. I always say that if you don't have a lot of stubborn heart and grit in yourself, this
And a
is
short-term memory.
very, oh, yes, that's a great, yes.
Yeah. You
Short
you have
term.
to have a short-term memory. But I've had people who have worked with me and I knew what they were making. And they made good money. I can't even say that they didn't. They were probably $200,000 a year was what they were making, and they left my organization and went somewhere else and started talking about all this money they were making and yada yada. And Yola, I've paid their mortgage before. It's like I know these things, and I'm not going to go and tell, it's not my spot to go tell somebody else, and I would never do that anyway. But I just think that in society as a whole, even outside of insurance, I think we're getting back to the point where flashy is not financial freedom.
Yes.
I think we're getting back to like if you come and visited my house, I live in a brick ranch 1,800 square foot house on a half an acre, right? I'm not living lavish, but, and in fact, Sarah makes fun of me sometimes. If you saw me in public, you might even think I'm homeless because I'm not like, I'm not flashy at all. But check my bank account.
You're right.
When's the last time I couldn't get something that I wanted? Things like that. Having bills paid off, not stressing over, the little things. But here, let's jump on to one more thing. And you and I, Yola, come from different sides of this because I've been with the same IMO from the very beginning. So I've got 9 years with the same company. You've had a few practice companies. I saw a meme that said if you got on a train and you realized that you were on the wrong train, you would get off at the next stop, right?
Right.
And adjust yourself. And the longer, if you don't get off at the next stop, the longer you stay on, the more expensive the return trip home is going to be.
Yeah.
So finding a really good company can go a long ways. And we're going to break this down. Yola, I'm going to give you three things that I think go into picking a company. And guys, we are talking final expense, but I'm sure that this would lend its way for some other lines of insurance. There's three types of companies you can go with. There's the rah companies that are going to give you a lot of Kool-Aid. They're going to, what seems like, give you a lot of training because you're going to be on a ton of Zooms and you do this and do that. You're going to be in a very small commission rate. There's other companies that give you nothing. They don't give you any training. They'll hand you a contract, but you're at a really high commission rate. But you got to figure everything out on your own. And then there's the few that are in the middle that maybe don't have the highest comp rate, maybe don't give you the most training, but they give you a lot of one-on-one help along the way, side-by-side training, things like that. I prefer the third kind, the one that's just, kind of the best of both worlds, in my opinion. But Yola, what else have you seen out there as far as what you can find?
I mean, there's a lot of business models out there. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. I have been, and the reason I've jumped around a few times, Linda, is because you got blessed. Like you right off the gate, you found a company that was willing to train you, hire you, do all of this. When I started spending 2 hours at a meeting and not really listening to anything besides how great my boss is and how I suck and I need to do better, and not really giving you practical tips, right? Like I had never sold a policy. I had still not known what it was like to actually do a presentation for a customer. But this was like 3 months of my life when I was already licensed, and they're just telling me, like, so that's what it's like. Listen, I'm not making any money in this. That's why you have to kind of switch and find that model. That you're right. Like mentorship is huge in this industry. If you have somebody that's just going to let you go into the world of big bad insurance and have you figure it out by yourself, yeah, but you're going to fail. You're going to fail a lot. This is why the 92% of the industry fails in its first year, is because this is a rough business. Anybody that tells you is easy, it's not. They're lying to you. It's not. This is a
Yeah, and the other thing is, um, in my opinion, the reason most people fail out is because they were in the wrong system to begin with.
yes.
I mean, it's just, especially, we are not going to name names or anything because we don't want to get in trouble on the backside, but y'all know them. Three-letter organizations, work from home, make 3 to 4 thousand part-time. And then the first thing they say, guys, if you sit down with anybody and the first thing they say is, I need a list of your closest 100 friends and family, run.
Red flag.
Now,
Red flag.
again, oh my gosh, again, there are people that are successful doing that, but it's a very, very small percentage. You want to be in an organization that at least 50% of the people that are working within that organization are at least above the poverty rate of money, like coming in.
If they're
Like,
paying their bills, then you should probably listen to them. If they're not paying their own bills and
right.
asking you for gas money.
Yeah. Oh, here's the other one. Not only do those companies like tell you, hey, you're going to be able to make this amount of money and give me your client list, they also want you to recruit and train. And guys, that's so hard. Like, I feel bad for probably the first 5 people that I brought on because they didn't get the best of me because I wasn't there yet.
Right.
Right. And so, like, think of it this way. If, for all of you women that have children, your first child was a learning experience. You probably, became a parent with that child, but it was hard and you were really scared. Now, think about bringing another person on in this business when you don't know what you're doing.
Mhm.
And you're like, supposed to be making sure that they're able to feed their family. That shit gets hard, guys. So if you're in that kind of model, get off at the next train stop. If you really want to stay in this business,
Right.
and find somebody, Yola, even more important than the company or the IMO, FMO that you work with is the direct manager you work with, like who you're getting.
I agree. And I think that's where Women Insurance Producers Unfiltered is such a blessing. I feel like in this space, because we are all independent. So you don't really have like, my vision would be for us to kind of find mentors throughout the whole industry that are already vetted, that have shown us their profit and loss statements, that have, trainings behind them to to show that they have trained at least a few thousand people, and that way we'll have a platform, because you don't know what you don't know. And when you trust the wrong people, this is how you fail, because you're either spending money and then you're not making any money. So this is where imposter syndrome starts coming in, right? It's because how am I going to show you how to do something when I'm just pretending like I did? Fake it till you make it does not work in insurance, ladies.
Yeah,
No.
it's face it till you make it.
Yeah.
Like just there's no other way around it. You've got to go through. And that's the other thing, Yola, is people say all the time, with those organizations, hey, start with your family and friends. Dude, those were the last people I started with. I mean, seriously, I wanted to learn on people I didn't know. Give me a stranger to learn on, not my aunt or my mother,
Well, because they don't take you
so
seriously, right? Like if she changed your diapers and now you're talking to her about insurance and she's like, "Oh, that's
yeah,
sweet," but you were doing, you were selling knives 2 years ago. So why should I sell?
right.
I still have the set of knives you sold me from when you were in high school. And this is
Yeah.
a true story, by the way. Shout out to my aunt. I sold knives. She was my first and only customer.
I never sold knives. I would have probably bought some knives from you though, because I always feel like mine get dull.
Uh-huh.
I don't have good luck with that. Yola, I know we're short on time. For all of the women out there who maybe kind of feel like they're in the wrong setup or they want to see what else is out there, give me your top three questions that if you had to go back into the candidate pool and find another company, what are the top three questions you're asking the person that's interviewing you?
I mean, obviously, how much money I'm going to make. What does the schedule look like? And what are my expectations? Because when you set expectations, when expectations are set, expectations are met. But when you don't set your expectations, how are you going to do that?
Yeah, those are good questions. And you know where Yola's mind is, went to the money right away. Now that's true. I mean, there's not many of us that are in, especially final expense, that didn't get into it because of the money. Like most of us wouldn't spend our free time in the homes we're in unless we were, being paid handsomely for it.
Yep.
Some of the questions that I would ask are kind of maybe a little bit on the opposite side of what Yola. I want to know what the training is going to look like. Like, are you going to hands-on train me, or are you going to send me logins to go on YouTube and try to figure this out? If I'm in a house and I need help, are you going to pick up your phone? Like, where does that end? Are you going to help me get started? Do I have to buy leads? And guys, I've said this a time or two. I'm going to say it again. You either invest time or you invest money, but we're all working leads. If you're investing time, it's canvassing for clients, it's social media, it's all that. Or you're investing money, I'm just going to buy leads and I'm going to go talk to the people who had interest. But your IMO, the company you're with, should have some way for you to purchase leads and not exhaust your warm market. Because guys, once your warm market, once you've exhausted your friends and family, what now? Like if you had 100 friends and family and you sold them all, what do you do next? So you got to have some way to keep inventory coming in. But Yola, my biggest thing is training. Like I want to know, and again, I got lucky, just like you said, when I came in, I had a gentleman bless his heart, he's one of my best friends now. But if his wife hadn't known who I was, she probably would have thought I was trying to steal her husband, because I called him all the, like, I was one of those people, like, I got beat by that objection. I'm not going to let that happen again. Let me get him on the phone. Here's what happened. Here's what I said. What would you have said? Right. So
right.
you've got to do that too. But don't be an asshole either, as Yola says. Don't ask me what I would do, and then not like my answer and go ask somebody else.
Exactly. And not take my, like, waste my time, right? And ask me for my expertise and then just go do something else, or ask the same person and over and over and over again. I don't know. That's why I call them assholes. Like, don't waste somebody else's time. Don't be an asshole. If you're gonna do it, at least do it. And if you're gonna waste somebody's time and ask them for their, experience, at least try to do it for a couple of months before you start asking again.
Yeah, put the work in. But again, ladies, that's going to be the biggest thing, regardless of what system you're in, what company you work with, what carriers you write. If you don't do the work, nothing's going to happen. All right, so don't get in one of these systems where you're doing the work for somebody else to be rich, because that somebody else may never come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you're in one of these organizations and you're looking at your manager above you and you think they have everything, open your eyes. It's probably a little smoke and mirror, and get a second opinion. I mean, Yola, like, if I had something, like, I have a liver issue, I have a blood clot in my liver, right? I got a few second opinions to make sure that I was doing the right thing. That's okay to do here, but as we leave you, ladies, don't be an IMO hopper, right? Don't go from one company to the next company because they're going to give you 5% more. Okay, show a little bit of loyalty. Get yourself comfortable. This industry is so good, but it only works if you work, like Yola says, and it's only fun if you're working with folks that you really enjoy being around, and that's what you really want. So if you're interviewing two people, if you're interviewing me and Yola for who you're going to work with, pick the one not that tells you you're going to be the richest, but pick the one that that you relate to and you can understand and you can learn from, and pick the genuine one. Pick the one that that you're getting what you're getting, and not smoke and mirrors.
Well, going back to IMO hopping, I think it's very important to understand that any IMO is never perfect and any organization is never going to be perfect. This is a relationship like everything else. It's a marriage. I'm sure you and Sarah have had disagreements, and you always will have a disagreement with your IMO. It's
Maybe this morning.
I know, right? Same. But but it's a relationship, right? Just because we had an argument doesn't mean that we're going to go ahead and give up on each other and go to divorce court. And I'm now all of a sudden I'm jumping you for 5%. This is a give and take. It's a relationship, and you have to build those relationships because, like you said, if you're a full-time agent, of course I'm going to answer your phone. If you're going out there and hustling and trying to feed your family, of course you're going to be a priority. But if you're not really building a relationship with me and you just want me as your upline because I can give you high comp and just have me be at your beck and order every time you decide that you're going to go to work, no. It doesn't work that way. This is a relationship. You don't, you have to build it day by day, and you don't go in it with everybody, with 100%, because that there's going to be expectations that are going to falter through. Sometimes a lot of us expect things that are different than what they turn out to be. So just kind of
Yeah.
keep it realistic, I feel like, too.
Yeah, and have accountability for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I think we lie to ourselves so much and we'll place blame on somebody else so much easier than we will ourselves. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who your upline is, who your IMO is. If you're not taking your ass to work, you're not going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So have accountability. Ask yourself before you start looking for another company, ask yourself, if I don't change, but I change my IMO, is my situation changing? No. It's like people who get married 4 and 5 times. No offense. No offense. That's you. But guys, at a certain point, it can't be everybody else. It can't be. So
That
you've got to take some of that.
I always say you can't have 12 crazy exes. If you've had exes and they're all crazy, maybe you should look at the common denominator. Just saying.
Maybe you're the one who made them that way. I'm definitely not letting Sarah watch this video.
Or Josh.
No, but I mean, that's like realistic advice that nobody wants to hear because it's so common. You hear everybody say that, but it's so true. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't even matter if you're in insurance. You have to take accountability. Like it's not always everybody else's fault. Yep. The leads suck for all of us, right? Yep. I mean, we're dealing with the same clients. We're dealing with the same issues. So how can some people manage it and make really good money and others, tuck their tail and run home?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. And listen, we all deal, like you said, with the same client. We all have appointments that get canceled. We all have policies that get canceled. We all have porches. We all have clients that don't like us. We all have, we overcome objections so much. And I feel like that's why we're so compensated so well, is because this is, if you don't develop your thick skin early in the game or as you progress and have your love and your passion for the business lead you, rejection is always going to shut you down. There are days where I'm like, oh my God, let me get rejected 10 more times so I can get my yes and get it over with.
Yeah.
That there's just never going to be, sometimes you're never going to walk into a client's home. Well, sometimes you do, but 9 times out of 10, they're not going to just be waiting with their check in their hand, say, please give me insurance. You're going to have to go out there, wake up, get dressed, drive to the appointment, make sure all of your stuff is ready. You're talking to these people. Like nothing is ever just comes about like that.
And if they do, if you get to the house and they have the checkbook ready, Lord, please know that there's something they're not telling you. They have tried to get coverage and can't. They've got the HIV. They've got something, right? And they know it, but you don't. So don't get overly excited. Pump the brakes a little bit. Still go through your presentation. So
definitely. Yeah. Don't cut your corners just because they're interested. But a lot of times if they've had a loss too, I feel like that's the biggest close for me, is if they've already lost somebody, that's already a sale. Like, that they're, because you came in as a burden. Do you really want to leave with one too?
So, yeah. Hey, that's it. That's a good question right there, Yola. As we finish up, maybe give them just a little bit of meat. That's a good thing. Like, I know we both work direct mail for the most part. One of my questions early on, once I'm in the house, not at the door, Yola, what made you fill this card out? What was the reason? Mm-hmm. And if they say that, well, I just had an aunt die and she didn't have insurance and, I watched my family struggle. I mean, start cracking your knuckles. You're going to be writing that.
Hallelujah. No, I'm just kidding. We don't ever celebrate somebody else's loss. That's never the case. But it's sad. Like, I personally feel a responsibility every time I see a GoFundMe account online these days, especially if there's somebody that is like a friend of a friend or whatever. It's like, why didn't we just talk about life insurance? Why didn't we we know we're all going to die. Like, why is this a surprise? Why is GoFundMe even in business? Like, I wonder that every single day. So my personal mission, and I feel like a lot of us have this mission, is to just get GoFundMe, get out of business. Like, they charge so much money for those fees. And I know I'm getting off topic, but like, I have a best friend who just lost her daughter, and she's having a GoFundMe. She had life insurance. That's not, her, but she wanted GoFundMe for other things. And I was telling her, I would rather just send you the money directly, so that way I don't go to GoFundMe and have them charge you, and charge everybody, so they can actually connect us. Like, it just, I don't know.
And there's a ton of ways. Like, I've told folks before, that's come into the business and they've not had money really to spend on a whole lot of leads. Dude, the carriers give you material. They give you flyers. Like, all you have to do is call and order them and they'll send them to you. But you could literally stand outside of Walmart and say, "Hey, my name's Linda. I sell life insurance. Do you need any?" And hand them a flyer. And out of 100, you're going to get 5 that was like, oh, "I was just talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
This is so weird." You know? So just open your mouth. Open your mouth. I sold cars for a while, and I was never really proud of selling cars. I was never like yes, I'm a car salesman. Don't be like that. Like, you never know who's looking for what you have. And the other thing, um, God works in mysterious ways. And there's a lot of times that we are used as the vehicle to bless somebody else, and we might not even realize it. It's like standing in line at Walmart and you get this overwhelming urge to say something to the lady in front of you, and you're like, "What the hell is this?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? Don't don't push it down. Don't suppress it. Say it. It might be something that lady needs to hear.
Yep.
That might change the whole trajectory to whatever the word is of her life.
Yep, I agree with you 1,000%. I always look for something to compliment somebody else, whether it's their shirt or their hat or whatever it is, and it's genuine, right? Like, I'm not fake about it. If I don't like something, I'm not really going to go and say, "Oh, hey, nice hat." Like, no, it's ugly. Stop. But if it's cute, and like, Linda, I like your hair color today. It really is looking. I have noticed
Yeah.
it all day as soon as we got on the Zoom. By the way, it just looks like it's very. Yes, I like
Right?
I like the style. No, the style looks really, really good.
Ah,
The color and the cut is what I was going to say. But, always give somebody that compliment, because you never know what they're going through. And that could be the difference of them having a shitty day versus making their whole day
yeah.
turn around. I know that sometimes I receive like heartwarming messages from women in the group, and it's like, oh, like, it's Monday morning and I'm, not feeling it. And then you see somebody that sends you a message and it just brightens your whole day. So never
Yeah.
underestimate the blessings that we are, whether we sell them insurance or we're not. We don't sell insurance. That's never, yes, don't get me wrong. The money's great. I love the money. I enjoy every flipping part of it. Anybody that tells you no is lying. But there's a bit, because when you do get to a certain point of money and you're comfortable and you're making your bills and all of that, it's no longer about the money. Your why is no longer, that. It's, why am I doing this in the first place? Why have I taken this on as a career for myself? It's because I have made an oath to these people and these clients that I'm going to be the best agent that they're ever going to see. And that
Yeah.
is my why. Like, I want to serve them and I want to be memorable, and I want them to come to me for, to listen, to refer to me as the insurance lady. I might not know all lines of insurance, but this is why I network with other lines of insurance, is because you never know how we need each other, even in the industry space, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is not just us with our clients. This is us with our community. It's us with our other women. I know I'm getting on a soapbox. You can hear my TED talk here soon, but this is why I feel like we have this community that's building, is because women, especially in this business, need that person that's and that community that say, "Hey, we've got your back, and it's shitty today, but it's not going to be shitty forever. Just continue to hone your skill, work, 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 and this will get better."
Yeah. And I think that people can tell that we're just genuine. We're not trying to, I mean, what you see is what you get. I try to tell folks all the time, like I was training somebody, and the person the senior we were setting with, maybe had like 3 teeth. That's all they had. And the agent starts talking about dental benefits and things like that. And you could tell immediately the person was like, yeah. So just be aware of what you're saying, who you're saying it to, different things like that. You wouldn't try to sell a pair of glasses to a blind man, right? Use common sense, but for the most part, I mean, we're just like everybody else. We
Yeah,
make mistakes, but we're at least genuine.
right. I always say, if my mouth doesn't say it, my face always does, because you can see
Oh gosh, it does.
it. But I
It
am
does.
genuine. At least you're never gonna have to guess. Just makes it easier
Yeah,
on
that's
me, makes it easier on you, makes it easier on all of us stuff if I'm just myself. Because what's the point of actually faking it? You know that you're gonna find out at one point, and now you've lost all respect for me, because now not only am I disrespectful, but I'm also a liar. Like, why?
yep.
Why do all of that? So yes,
Yep.
I think we have exceeded our half an hour.
Always.
We always do. Exactly. We can talk forever. This is what I love about us. Um, one of the
Yeah,
things
but
I love
ladies,
about
you
us.
guys need to you guys need to give us some topics that you want. Whether it's, objections, whether it's getting indoors, whether it's making phone call, whatever it is. And PNC ladies, Medicare ladies, we have people in the group that are here to help. So if you guys need something, we're eventually going to open this up a little further than just Yola and myself. We're going to offer you guys some trainings. So bear with us while we get there and keep being amazing. If you guys get an unsolicited message from anyone in the group, to include us, right? We're in this too. But if you get an unsolicited message, reach out to me or Yola or Heather. Just go to the page. It'll show you who the admins and moderators are. Let us know. We definitely do not want to see that stuff. And keep being transparent. I think we've done a really good job this week, Yola, of people just saying, hey, I'm with XYZ company. Here's what I can do. That's what we want to see. None
Yes.
of this shady shit behind closed doors. We're not getting in the white van for candy.
Right? Don't be creepy. But
Yes.
on a serious note, like we have, and I'm very excited because next month we are going to roll out some trainings. I know that we are, doing split bits and pieces at a time, but September is going to be a month for us. We also have some social media training that's going to be coming along with a offer for just our community, which is very, very exciting. We are so blessed with this community because we have women reaching out to us that are from all over the country, right? And have done this forever and they just want to contribute and stuff. But I also am very cognizant that I don't want to waste anybody's time either. I don't want to, be somebody, especially if you're working for free for us and giving us your content. We want to be respectful of that. And we want to make sure that our systems on our place, we know what we're doing first before we can actually hand this off to someone else. So as it kind of progresses and continues, this will get better. We're excited for September because here we are, the 17th of August, and we have our first training on the 6th of September. It's a webinar, and I feel like we're going to roll out a few other trainings from now until then, and I'm so excited.
I can't wait. I think it's great.
Well,
We got some stuff for you guys.
and our YouTube channel is growing, so this will be on YouTube as well. So we're posting on Facebook and YouTube. Our Instagram is up-ish. It'll be there in the next
Hey,
week or
yeah, look, if you're a woman that has a ton of technology abilities, reach out. Don't reach out to me. Reach out to Yola. Um, that's her department. But definitely reach out if you think that you can lend a hand on any of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're always stronger together. I'm enjoying the learning process, but I don't always get it right. And I'm busy with running my own business too. So this is all, I do this on weekends, holidays, excuse me, after dinners and stuff. I stay up for a couple of hours, but it's not easy. Like I'm a good life insurance agent. I don't know any of this technology stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. This is just
That's
I have
me.
a vision and I'm like, all right, well, let's see. But yes, without further ado, I'm going to end this right here. Thank you for
Bye, guys.
an amazing conversation as usual. That's what I was going to tell you, but bye, guys.